got Expat in the Philippines. Go Tigers, go Tigers. Sorry, listen, but you had your chances. Gotta say that much. You just didn't capitalise on it. Hello, Kelly Nuns is live now too. Have a good show, sweetie. From Scott Expat in the Philippines. Go kick some tushy. All the best, Kelly Nuns. You do a good live tonight, Donald. Well, we had a win tonight, and what a win! Big show. I was talking to Adrian Gibson. He was at the game. He even did a live. Good one, mate. Good one. I'll check that out later. It's great to see. Big shout outs to Chris Beecham, Joe and Jenny Journey. Big shout out to Tropical Tim in the Philippines. Scoot B. Big shout out to Wish for Wonder. Miss Muggs, she's on now. Catch ya. Oh, you made it. Oh, yeah. How's Jeannie, mate? Kamusta to Jeannie. Our best wishes from me and Arlene. Great to see. She's doing a little bit better now. What have you been getting up to? Oh, by the way, no mice in the house. We have got them. I set some bait traps, and I've got a couple of mouse traps. Got a bait trap over there. Hey, Brick Glasgow, Kamusta. Okay, no problems, no drama, Joe. All's good, mate. All's good. Thank you, Brett Glasgow. Much appreciate. I owe you a lot, Brett, too. I'm finding it hard to get to your live streams of a early morning, so I will get there. I will get there. Big shout out to Chris Beecham. Hope you're good, mate. Hope Rona Lynn's good. Hope you're feeling a bit better today. Sorry I haven't spoken to you today. I've been a little bit. I don't know what a. Hi JJ. Oh, Joe and Jenny. Silly me. I don't trigger half the time. But yeah, I was talking to Adrian Gibson. He was at the game. He even did a live stream from the game, and it was good. It was good. I'll get to watch that later. Miss Muggs, as I said, is on now. Kelly Nuns is doing a live stream on Facebook at the moment. Kick tail done. Big shout out to Philippines Good Life, John and Agnes. Big shout out to Tom and Ruth, Philippine Adventures. Big shout out to Brooke Glasgow and Deborah Allrat. Big shout out to Aresha Vez. Big shout out to Avery's World, Tina Rolig, and big shout out to Flexi Girl JB. Big shout out also to Shooting Star MS. Great to see you guys doing well with your live streams too, by the way. Good one. Big shout out to Philly in the Philippines. Look, Hannah Grace. POD did a live stream earlier. Oh, big shout out to POD, Philippines on Demand. I wish you all the best. I hope you are feeling better. Big shout out to check out the Rileys, Mercy and Bill. It's great to see. Big shout out to Texas Filipino, James and Mel, big shout out also to a foreigner farming in the Philippines, Brian and Maricel. Big shout out to Terence and Beth, foreigner in the Philippines. Our best wishes to you guys. St Kilda threw it away at the end. Yeah, you know what? That was a unbelievable game. I thought St Kilda were going to win that. Who's got up the Tigers? Yes, mate. Thank you, Adrian. Um, it was a good game, that one too, and very close. And they did well, St Kilda, but just not good enough. Higgins, who used to play for Richmond, um, is at St Kilda now. He had what three shots at goal, didn't capitalise. Essendon took the lead in the final quarter. Yes, Essendon did take the lead in the final quarter, and then we just kicked on from there. It was a good game, 120 to 80 something, I think it was, and we got 6 goals. We kicked 6 goals to their 3 goals in the last quarter. So, you know, I'm not going to say it, but don't write us off. If you do, it's at your own peril. But, you know, Queen's birthday game is in Sydney at the SCG. Yes, that's true. Who's playing there? I know we're playing West Coast next Sunday over there at Subiaco, but I can't understand why we have to fly back to Sydney and then fly back over to Perth. That doesn't make sense to me. I think the club should keep the players in Perth and try and find an oval to start playing kick the kick with, and find a ground that they can use for training. It wouldn't hurt other clubs just to switch around a little bit and help an AFL team out for once. But, you know, it's one of those things. But good game, nevertheless, Adrian. Good game, nevertheless. It's called money. I know money that the AFL have got, but I don't know, for some unknown reason, they just think that it would be better that Richmond fly back to Sydney and then fly over again Saturday, the day before the game. I think they're trying to stuff up Richmond's preparation. Briggs Rakana's got her premiere in 30 minutes. I watched Texas Filipinos 2 videos today. Good one, James and Mel. Great video. And I watched Philly in the Philippines. Their one on their video on their diving up at Porto Galera, which was very interesting, and the photography was marvelous. So, guys, check out Philly in the Philippines 3 videos that they did in Porto Galera, and up there in, I think it's just above Luzon. Check out their check that video out. It's excellent. Good dive video too. How are you, Brett Glasgow? That's Collingwood in Melbourne, the SCG. Oh, righto, that's right. Yeah, the big freeze. That is a good game. That will be a good game. It's sponsored for motor neuron disease, and they go down in a big tub, slide down into a big tub full of icy cold water. How would you like that, guys? It's icy cold out there now at the moment, and let me tell you, if I was playing football, AFL football, and he called me up, I'd say, "Look, I'll give you some money for it, but I ain't gonna slide down the slide." It's a wee bit rich doing that, I think, getting um, going down and doing that for charity. But I think I would rather put my money into the charity than slide down a water slide. It'd be funny, but and it'd be freezing and it'd be for a good cause, but it's not me. Played enough football in the cold weather to last me a lifetime. So, but yeah, it's for a good cause, good charity, motor neuron disease, and I wish them all the best next Sunday. Football over there has nothing on American football. Yeah, look, each to their own, Joe. It's a different top. We run around without helmets on. It's warmer in Sydney. Yeah, well, probably will be. But the water in the big tub won't be. But saying hello to Joe. Yeah, look, we run around. If you've seen our game, the way it's played, if you watch a rematch, click into the Jack Nichols, I think it is, Indigenous round, which was played tonight between Richmond and Essendon. Watch that game right through, the whole 4 quarters, and with no helmets, and the way they smash into each other. It amazes me how they're not cripples by the end of it, honestly. But life goes on, unfortunately, and the game was good, and we enjoyed it, and we won by 30 points, but a hard 30 points in the end, which was good. Adrian enjoyed it too, I think, and he had fun there, and I'm yet to watch his live entertainment, live stream from Subiaco. Gonna have to get over to Perth one day, I think. Go and see our Auntie Lucy. Arlene said she was over here for 2 weeks, for a couple of days, but I haven't heard any more about that. But all's good. The game was great, and I enjoyed it. So we won, and that's the main thing. We're back in the 8, which is good, and it'll be a hard run to the finals. I think it's going to be anybody's ball game. But if we won today, and we play West Coast next week, that's going to be a big hell of a do match. Oh, I tell you, those water bottles, they're good, but they tend to taste the plastic inside. Thanks for the likes, guys. 3 in the house. Excuse me, I've got to go for a CR break. I'll be back in a minute. Oh, back again. Anyone miss me? Big shout out to Scoot B and Joy, that's what it's called, football. I hope the Raiders do better this season. uh, it's a different type of ball game, our ball game. If you understand it, it's okay. If you don't, well, I could never understand soccer why you can't touch it with two hands. But there's a lot of skill in soccer. They say it's not my favourite ball, unfortunately. I'm a bit like Joe. I like to. Oh, don't get me wrong. I like to watch gridiron as well. Being a Dallas fan and Dallas Mavericks fan in the basketball, but this year they're not doing too good, unfortunately. Um, but this year I hope Dallas do a lot better in the football. Okay, but do. So it should be a good year this year, hopefully. Uh, Different teams out there, different players, different. All years ago when we were kids, football wasn't about money. It was just about playing football and playing for your own team and playing for if you got contracted to go to your team. Oh, geez, you're laughing, but this these years, like as I said, Higgins was playing for Richmond last year, and then all of a sudden, because he wasn't doing too good, Richmond handballed him to St Kilda, as well as someone else, Barker, I think it was, and yeah, St Kilda thought they had two good players there. Allison went up to Gold Coast. But we only lost three good players last year, and we got the African young guy. Fire hazy cheesy, but it's one of those things, guys. You either take our football or leave it, and it's a different ball game to those the American football. American football's like rugby with a lot of padding on. But it's a good game nevertheless. Still trying to work it out, but I enjoy watching it when it's on. And when we see it, last year it was on at 5 o'clock our time here, and it's hard to get up at the best of times. Like this morning, CJ got up before me, and he wanted to watch telly, and Mummy said toilet time, so I got up and got him to the toilet and made a coffee for myself and came back and went back to bed. And oh, mate, as soon as my head hit the pillow again, I was back in dreamland, um, thinking of the Philippines and what was going on. And I haven't watched much news today. Not sure what's been going on. All I know is this other spread of this Indian virus. It's like a Delta virus. It's causing a lot of damage down in North Melbourne. Two kids went to school and didn't realise I had it. And yeah, so they've shut the school down and doing a lot of contract tracing through those two kids and the family. Apparently, the father wasn't too well with it, so the kids passed on. Now, this is where I think kids should not be exempt from 4 year old, probably 3 year old, from 3 year old upwards should not be exempt from having a COVID test. Should not be exempt. Oh, it's only uh, and and then out they go. If they do it quickly, it's all good, you know. CJ had one, he passed. Negative. Eileen had hers. Negative. I had mine. Negative. We all passed with negative colours, which was good. I always thought negative was bad. I always thought positive was the best result, but apparently positive's not a good result and negative is the good result. So how the hell they work that out on fag if I know. You know, yeah, well, you know, they're trying their best, mate, and they, they did lock down a while back there, but shit, Africa got, India got this Delta thing over there, and they thought they were on top of it, and look what's happened to them. They're copying like 500,000 deaths a day. Yeah, and that's not good. No, it's not good enough. I agree with you there. They should be able to contract trace where this man went to, and I think it's got them this time. I think it's got these health inspectors this time. I think it's got them by the short and curlies. They don't know which way to go with it. They can, like I do my needles on the, that sounds fun, doesn't it? Sounds like I'm a raving drug addict. I've got my COVID anesthetica on the 27th of this month. Booked in up here at the Gap Road Medical Centre. And if Arlene needs to get hers, she has to go down to. Yeah, I know our government's hopeless. God, it's one of those things, mate. What do you do? Even the health regulations in the federal government are no better. They're trying to keep a lid on it. Don't seem to be finding, like, how the hell is the one in Adelaide flew into Adelaide, tested negative. Mathematic, g'day. He flew into South Australia, was in quarantine, didn't have it, tested negative, but did he? Did he test? Now they're starting to wonder, did he test negative? Was he positive all the way before they let him out? And then he tested positive in Victoria. Now, that's questionable because I find it very hard that he flew into Adelaide, tested negative, and then came over to Victoria, went to these little places, and then all of a sudden he's tested positive. Someone in Adelaide ain't doing their job properly. So, and then we have one go up into New South Wales. How the hell do you get up there when we got border police everywhere here? There are police cars up the road here, just before Gisborne. There are police cars on the Hume Highway at every major exit out of onto heading up to all the regional country spots, such as Wodonga and Albury. Even up as far as the ocean. Came to New South Wales, hasn't spread it around when they were supposed to have the Indian type. I don't know. I do not know. And have they been caught? Have they been tested? And if they had the thing, maybe they have. Maybe they've been to a few cafeterias, but I'd like to know how they got out of the state of Victoria, to be honest. Did they go out before the lockdown? Or did they go out during the lockdown, before they locked the borders off? Because you can't get into Victoria, we can't get into New South Wales. Anywhere along the border. We can't even get into South Australia because our police blocked the borders. So I'd like to know how this family gets into New South Wales without getting caught. It's a big and especially the Indian type, which is, if they got the Delta type, it's not going to be good. If they've already been to a few places, it can be easily spread around. And it spreads like wildfire. We must be luck. They went back to Victoria. They came before the lockdown. Very, 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 very weird, that one. But maybe they didn't have it fully. That's a possibility. But I reckon, in my book, and I think Joe and Rick Glasgow would agree with me that if people are doing this deliberately and they know they got it, it should be under a terrorism act. I'm sorry. If they know they got it and they're spreading it around and they know they're spreading it around, it should be classed as a terrorism act. And the one in North Melbourne should be charged with the same thing. If they knew they had it and they knew their kids were going to school with it last week, they had to lock up the school on Friday. If they knew their kids had it, if the father had a cold and the kids were sent to school and the kids knew they had it, because they're the kids. Look, I'm not having a go at the kids, okay? But I'm just saying, kids are, you send them to school, they come home with a cold. Who gets the cold after the kids? We do. If it's not us getting the cold and passing it on to the kids, okay, who says we're not getting the cold and we pass it on to the kids? We don't realise it. A couple of days later, the kids are at school, sneezing, coughing, and carrying on. Then little Johnny May and little Mary B have got it, and they're passing it on to other kids who are then in contact with their mum and dad and their little sisters, and that they're going to, say, high school or secondary school, and they're passing them on. They have to touch a table, they have to touch a book, cardboard, like your Bellic wine boxes, cardboard you can catch coronavirus on. Books, paper, you can catch coronavirus on. It only sits there and mutates for a while. Before you know it, you got it. Yeah, exactly, Chris. And yeah, it's one of those things. You send your kid to school, I'm drinking out of CJ's water. Probably shouldn't be, but he's had a cold for a while, and I haven't had a sip out of that yet. So actually, it's now making me sick. But you know, we send our kids to school. Yet sometimes, CJ had a cough the last couple of days, but we went to have our COVID shots, and he came up negative for COVID, and it's one of those things, and I don't know whether everyone's gone, but I've got one person up on the thing, and I've got 4 likes. Thank you guys, much appreciate it. It's one of those things. Kids are immune to it; they get it, they pass it on to us, and before you know it, you only have to cough. It goes everywhere. Pardon me. And you wash your hands, wash your face, do all the right things, have a shower, everything like that, and get all the germs off your body overnight or during the day, during the morning when you're getting them ready for school and that. It's one of those things. You can't, you don't pick it up straight away. The kids go to school with it, and before you know it, Johnny and Mary got, so it's Bethlehem and Rocky and Bullwinkle and Teddy and Mary J and whatever, before you know it, they go home and they're passing on to theirs, as I said. And it's one of those things, to me, I think the kids should have a COVID thing. It's only up the mouth and up the nose and up the other nose, and then straight in the bottle and sent straight to the thing. Today I had to go to Coles with Arlene. We had to do the the trace. Well, because I don't have it on my phone, because my phone's Samsung, I wrote it down. I wrote my name and I wrote my phone number down. But you go to Coles, doesn't mean if you go to Toy World, or you go to the butcher, you go to the pharmacy in Sunbury Square, you have to write it down. If you go into did it once, don't want to do it again. Yeah. But I just think that kids should be made to do the COVID testing. It's not going to hurt them. It's only a little butt up one nose, butt up the other nose, and butt up the mouth, and back into a little test tube, and off it goes. You find it, you go home, isolate for 3 days, and then you get it back, and it's a negative result. You laugh, and you got no problems, but you still have to do the tracing thing where you've been. We still can't go 10k out of our area, or 5k out of our area. So we're still in lockdown. I do the AstraZeneca on 27th. I get that in the needle in the arm. I've been told, hey Tony, how are you, mate? Tony Corolla is in the house. Big slap bang. Hello to Tony Corolla. Yeah, so I'm doing that next week, or in the next couple of weeks. I've got an appointment at 10 past 10 just to sit down and get the jab, and I'm going to be happy. That's good, Tony. You've been at Miss Chakosaurus. Oh, she got a live stream on tonight? Not sure. But, we're just talking about the jab and what you reckon. Do you reckon kids should have it? And as I said earlier, you know, they found two kids at North Melbourne Primary School had it and have been passing it on, this COVID shit. We've also got the Indian variant, Delta variant, and we've had a Indian come from South Australia into Victoria, and he's tested positive, but he didn't test. Actually, I'll ask you something, Chris. Hang on that. He was in quarantine. I don't know. They're playing Carlton, aren't they? It's gonna be a good game, that one. Like, he came in. He was tested negative. Now, how the hell did he get over? He got over to Victoria, and it wasn't basically. I'm telling you, I meant the COVID testing that way and that way. But I still reckon they should have the needle as well, just to cover themselves too, because they're carriers. And as much as we like to disagree with them, but if parents refuse to let them have it, now, well, what do you do? There's some mindless people out there other than ourselves. You go around and do the right thing, and everybody else is doing the wrong. Not wanting to do the right thing in the first place. It makes it hard for everybody else to think, I want to go back to the Philippines. I want to be able to go back to the Philippines. I want to be able to do the right thing. As I said, Arlene will go to we'll ring up Western General Hospital, find out where she has to go and have the COVID testing over there, or AstraZeneca or Pfizer, and we'll go over there and have a look. Okay. But I do tend to think that kids should have it. I think they should also have the COVID test with the up. No, doesn't hurt. I think CJ should have it. I really do think he should have it, but it's up to his mum. And if he gets the flu injection, it probably would cover him better than AstraZeneca. But if you don't give your kid the jab and they get it, you only got yourself to blame. In my book, you've only got yourself to blame. Um, it's a dicey one, Tony, but I just think, personally, I just think that they should have it. If they had the flu shot, it'd probably cover them because they're only small, they're only young. As from mum and dad, yes, we should have it. Look, I know I hear a lot of people say that, oh, you don't need it, don't take it, just be careful, do all that, and everything should be right. I'll be back in a minute, guys. I think I got the Chinese bladder again. You're gone, blackout. Let's go and see her again. Back in a minute. So the lady said to me at the COVID centre, what's that supposed to mean, Chris? What the lady said to me at the COVID centre, Tony Corolla, are you filming this? And I was just uploading film I did do outside. You're not allowed to film inside the COVID clinic, but you're allowed to film outside. And she said to me when I was sitting there, she goes, "You didn't film, you're not filming this, are you, sir?" And I said, "No, why?" And she goes, "Well, it's against government policy." And I said, "What's the government got to hide? We're only getting the white stick up our nose and up our mouth. What's the big deal?" And she goes, "It's against privatisation laws." And I said, "Oh, okay." So I said, "I'm just sitting there deleting what I'd already put down." And she goes, "Oh." And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "This once was a free country. You could do and come and go as much as you pleased in this country. But this day and age, now, no, you're not allowed to do this here. You're not allowed to film that there. You can't film in Coles." I had a lady in Coles ask me, was I filming in Coles? And I said, "No, I'm just, I was just filming my boy." But what's that got to do with filming inside? You're not allowed to film in Coles. I said, "Well, I think, this country's gone a bit beyond, uh, it's a joke with the privatisation laws. I really do. I think privatisation laws are just going up a thing, we were just, oh, okay. Um, yeah, I was just using the phone to think. Yeah, well, I can't understand why, what the big deal was, because it's only getting a cotton wool bud here, up here, you know. and I'd filmed Tony and Chris a bit of outside of the clinic and just at the door where we were about to go back in. And when we went in, I was sitting in the little room and she came in and she said, "Are you filming, sir?" I said, "No, why?" And she goes, "Well, it's against government policy." And I said, "Well, I'm not filming, I'm actually deleting recorded stuff that I did outside for my channel, for my YouTube channel." Uh, but I said I haven't filmed the conversation in here. I haven't recorded the conversation in here, and I don't think all it is me giving my address to you, my wife giving her address, and CJ's information, and he had it done too, up the throat, up the nose, and CJ was all right with the throat, but when it was up here, he cracked it big time. But I could quite understand that, it's one of those things. I don't know. Yeah, we have drive-throughs here too as well. We have drive-throughs down near Mickleham Road going in, because we can't go any more than 5k out of our area. We've got a local one just up here, so up that way, and it's a clinic, and I filmed outside, and I didn't film inside, I just filmed outside, but where we had to walk and talk to the lady and that. When we got inside, oh, it's 10 kilometres now, they've lifted. But, I can't understand what they got to hide, I could have put my phone there and videoed her doing me throat and my nose, and CJ and Mum doing this, and I just couldn't understand what the big hoo-ha was in thing. Basically, I wasn't filming other people, I was just filming my own family. Just done, but I couldn't register on the government website, so I still don't know my results. You probably might have to phone them, Tony. You have like a government health agency like Medicare or something like that in England, in the UK. Maybe you can contact through them, and they can give you information. I got mine. It should come up on your phone too. Lee and Carr does model waterfalls and water features. Check him out. But they would contact me, I would think. Yes, well, if you've given your information and your correct information, it will come up on your phone in your message part on your phone. You have a little message area, and it will either come up wherever you got your COVID test done. It should come up there, and it should tell you whether you are negative. If you had it done yesterday or Friday, yesterday afternoon, you probably won't get your results until Monday afternoon, probably around about 4 o'clock. We did ours on, what was it, Tuesday, and got our results Thursday afternoon around about 4 o'clock. Pretty easy. Yeah, I'm just saying he would have got it on the phone in great state of New South Wales. Good on you. I realise Tony's in England. I got mine a few weeks back, but I don't feel any symptoms. Oh, you mean the jab? Thank you for the likes, guys. 3 in the house. Much appreciated. You know, it's you test for your um, COVID. If you go to a local clinic, they will take your phone number. If you have like Medicare, like what we have in Australia, just got I don't feel symptoms. Oh, for the COVID, not the jab. If you did the COVID test, you won't have symptoms. Um, they will tell you to stay home for uh, the 2 days, and but I've been a very naughty boy. I went out till I got my result. Yeah, well, Tony, they will, if you did the test, like the got more buds up the nose and up the mouth and up the nose, and they tell you to go home and wait until your test results come through. And if they come through positive, you have to stay home again and then go back and do another test for the COVID. But if you've gone to a clinic to do that, they should have your identification, your name and address, and your phone number, and they will then forward that onto your phone in your messages section. Yeah, same here. But that will come up. Yeah, I know. I'm having the AstraZeneca next on the 27th of June. So I'm getting that jab. I'm gonna get the jab. That sounds beefy. I might turn out to be a zombie afterwards. Joke choice. Don't want to scare anyone. But personally, I think kids should have it. The test. Is this your first jab, Scott? Yes, it'll be my first jab, Tony. Um, Diesel train coming that way. A train line runs out there. I think windows open to let the fresh air in, so you can hear it a mile away. But yeah, I just personally think that kids should have the COVID test with an from 3-year old upwards. Wouldn't hurt them, and because it'll go onto mum's. Yeah, what do you expect? They got Boris Yeltsin in command of the tugboat USS UK. But that's just my opinion. Opinions are like assholes. We all got one. But I just think the kids should have the and it'll go under the parent's name. And at the end of the day, you look at it this way: they're the ones that spread the little jimmies all over the place, and unbeknownst to us, they come home, they cough, they breathe. The other day we had to open up all the windows, and it's bloody cold outside, and we had to open up all the windows and all the doors to let fresh air through the house, because this place was just like a kettle of fish with lots of germs. Yeah, I totally agree with you there on that one, Tony. But you got to stay safe, and I just think, we had a case there the other day, Tony, that one guy came in from India, went into the South Australian hotel, tested negative apparently. Then, yeah, exactly. Um, tested negative, and then came into Victoria and apparently tested positive. So I don't know. Was his test done right? Did she stick it up his nose and up his mouth? Yeah. Yeah, silly guy. But it's one of those things. And anyone see Tom Simpson on here? Because I hope I haven't missed him. Tom Victoria, sorry. Um, I hope I haven't missed him. I hope I'm not talking over the top of him. Otherwise, he's. But yeah, as I was saying, he. Okay, thanks, Chris. Much appreciated. Um, I don't know how he came in from Lady Coach Explorers is on now. Yeah, I don't know how he got into this country, into the state of Victoria, and tested positive. So obviously the test wasn't done properly in South Australia, and they're actually questioning a lot of South Australia's testing there. And there was two kids apparently from North Melbourne Primary School, which is down in Melbourne, that apparently have been deemed to have it because their father was ill with it, and they went to school, and the father didn't know. Rickshaw Philippines Isolation House Philippines, guys, check Rickshaw Philippines out. So they've locked the school up, and quite a few kids have been infected by it. But they're going to go home, and they're going to see their mum and dad, and whether you like it or not, they're going to spread the thing, and it's the Delta variant of the Indian virus, which is that's why it's called North Melbourne. Yeah, I know. It's the Delta version, and it's spreading like wildfire down here in Melbourne at the moment, Tony and Chris. It's not good. It's not a good one. If the people that you were saying, the family that went into New South Wales, and that why didn't they have? I think no one is going to school in your state anyway. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. The primary schools are open. The preschools are open. The preschools are open. I think the primary schools were closed up until I think the primary schools will be reopened, and high schools were opened Friday. So I think they are back to school at the moment. But Tony, I just shake my head. Like, how the father didn't know his kids had the variant of this Delta part. It's really bad, apparently. It's spreading like wildfire. And we had 9 cases, now we've got 63 cases. Um, are they in hospital? I don't know. Um, People are worried. Thanks, Joe and Jenny. People are worried. People are really worried about this one because this one's spreading like wildfire. It's not good. It's not a good variant of the Indian COVID. It's spreads like wildfire. It joins together. Um, yeah. Maybe if you ate Vegemite and toast on Vegemite, maybe it might go away, eh? But like the whole case scenario is that there was a couple of weeks back that they were saying those that were tested and tested negative, and those that had the uh, COVID vaccine, the AstraZeneca or the Pfizer, um, were found to have COVID the next day. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you have a flu shot, they put the flu in the needle and put it back into your arm because it's an antivirus. Yeah, well, it's not good when people are in quarantine and from it. So you can't sneeze at it. You have to take the chance. Look, there's a lot of people out there that are saying that it's not good. There's a lot of people out there that are saying it's good uh, to have the shots. There's a lot of people against wearing face masks. There's a lot of people against that are wearing face masks to protect themselves from those that aren't wearing face masks. We got the Indian variant here. So the date that was, sorry, Penny. We got the Indian variant here now. So the date that was set for unlock has been postponed again and is another decision from Boris and the scientists. Unbelievable. Yes, well, we won't be, we got another 7 days to serve. We go back next Thursday. It goes off. The old lady in the old people's home already had both shots. Look, the same people that have the AstraZeneca or the Pfizer are turning up that are testing positive with COVID. But correct me if I'm wrong, as I said before, when you have the AstraZeneca or you have the Pfizer, that has partly got a little bit of the COVID thing and goes back into you. Like the flu virus, they shoot the flu virus back into you to compensate, but it's a good part of the flu thing that's supposed to make you feel better. Now, our old neighbour, he had it. He had the AstraZeneca, and he's felt crook for the last 4 weeks. He's still not good. So, and he's been seeing his doctor all the time. You will be in lockdown over the Queen's birthday weekend. Yes, I know. It's not good. It's great. They always pick the bloody long weekends to um, do these lockdowns. As you can hear, CJ's still got a bit of a cough. We're putting down trouble is I can't get up to the border, mate. So they've got us locked in here. So now we're back into the care homes without testing there. Yeah, well, that wouldn't surprise me either, Tony. Released the oldie back into home care testing after release from the hospitals. Thousands died in care homes. Yes, it's not good. It's not good. This is not good. Like, over 500,000 people dead in America when Trump was in charge. New Zealand locked the gate, then we locked the gate, then it took a while for Trump to lock the gate in America. And then Johnson, locked the gate not long after Trump. So, really, they're fools. They could see it coming, but they thought that they were going to be invincible. But, they turn around and they look at the population, a couple of people, who cares? That's their attitude towards life. It's, Trump and Johnson are money people, always have been money people. They don't care about people's lives. They don't care about the money they make. And you ain't going to make money if people are sick and people aren't working and the country's not moving. A bit like our Scottish bloke that runs Qantas. He's might be out of a job by the end of the month. But in another good side of everything like that, if that's what it takes to get him out of Qantas, maybe someone will take over the reins of Qantas and be a lot better. And run the ship a lot better and run it more efficiently than what he has. He was put, in Qantas to cull jobs. That's all he was put in there for. But he's gone beyond reproach as far as I'm concerned. He's a mate of mine lost his job, and I feel sorry for him. He's got 2 kids now, and he didn't need to lose that job. And he was a supervisor of the baggage handlers, and to me, they're more criminal than the government. Scott Morrison released that if you want, now with Trump forever, exactly, you want a subsidy from the government, I have to ring up the government and say, I haven't been working for 2 weeks. Then I have to prove that I haven't been working for 2 weeks. And then I have to give them my address, my phone number, and my bank account details so they can then put a wage in for the week. And, you might get $300 if you're lucky. Yeah. So, is that good? I don't know. Halloween earns like what she earns, and like she has to ring up next Tuesday and by the Victorian thing and find out, give them a name, a number, an address, and everything, and then she would get a subsidy to cover her wages. Now, will it be $600? Will it be $300? Who knows? You don't know. You don't know what you're going to get. They could turn around and say, it's this, and that's it, for a week. It's for the poor, not the rich. Bullshit. It's for the those that are out of work now that have to ring up if they've been out of work for 2 weeks. Like Arlene's been out of work for 2 weeks. So when I ring up on Monday, I've got to put in 2 weeks of her pay packets, which I haven't got because she hasn't brought home a pay packet. So I've got to turn around and say to Danny or whoever's on the other end that my wife hasn't worked for 2 weeks and I have not received a pay packet. I haven't got a pay packet here on the computer. I've only got from the 16th, 10th to the 17th, and that's all I've got. And I already put that in last week. So, I just shake my head. It's 500 if you normally work more than 20 hours. It depends on where you're working too, mate. The more vaccine vials they buy, they can make. Sorry, Tony, missed it again. This thing goes so quick. Exactly, Tony. Exactly. I agree with you there. It's just, you know, a lot of people out there say it's a conspiracy theory. A lot of people out there are saying that Arena in London, walk, London walk. Check that out, guys. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there with conspiracy theories. We'll be back in a minute. See our break. Go get yourself something to drink or eat and catch you in 5 minutes. I will ask you this. I will ask you this. I can't drive any more than 10k out of the area. But there's nothing stopping me from getting on a train with a travel card and going into the city of Melbourne and doing a video on how Melbourne looks now. Right? Correct? Who's going to stop me? Only the PFOs. But, you could say that you're going into the hospital to visit your grandma or your mum or your dad or anything. You might have to, you can say, shit, she's over at the Freemasons, which is on the other side of Richmond. And you have to walk through the city and go through past St. Patrick's Cathedral or walk through Alexandra Gardens. Who's going to haul you up, Seriously, they can ask you and you just say, I'm going to see my mum, she's in hospital. I can't take the car in because I'm not allowed to drive any more than 10k out of my area. So I've got to go in by train. But when you have to go and pick up your mum, you've got an exemption by the doctor to go in and see, to go and pick her up. But, like everything, it's one of those things, guys. You Melbourne is like a ghost town at the moment. No one's no one's walking around. Only those that go to work that have got jobs, but restaurants and places are being closed down because you can't sit in there. You can take away food, but you can't sit there. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy the lockdown too. I agree, um, Adrian. It's not doing it. It's not doing anyone any justice. It's actually putting a lot of people out of work. Whether the government's all right because they got jobs and taxpayers still paying them money. So he's opening up as we speak. Well, that's great. The US can open up. Our country, our Scott Morrison, is not letting any flights fly in or out of the state, out of Australia. But in saying that, if we did that, look what's happening in India. 500,000 people dying a day, and their people want to come back into this country. Now, if we've got still people that haven't been vaccinated, it's going to cause havoc. It really will cause havoc. And they feel that being locked down is going to help the situation by curtailing the way that all the people need to be quarantined and need to be isolated, that no one can walk around the city and touch you, touch me, touch anyone else, that it will go. Well, fine, they proved that with the Chinese one. They got the Chinese one out, but now we've got the Indian variant. We had the African variant, but it couldn't have been strong enough. But now we've got the Indian variant, which has got a Delta variant on top of that. And obviously CJ's working up and Mum's putting Vicks on his chest. So, it's one of those things. You will see we're not even doing that at the moment, Joe. Portugal had another all clear. Oh, okay, Tony. Did not know that. And yes, well, see, we're not even our country's not even fully vaccinated yet. We've still got first responders going to going to people that haven't even had the jab yet here in the state of Victoria. I don't know what the government's doing. They seem to be, one minute they're low Pfizer, and the next minute they've got plenty of it. And then they want to, it's sort of like they want to use the AstraZeneca all up before they use the Pfizer. And they say that now we haven't got much of the Pfizer left. So, what the hell is this government doing? Like, they send so many vials out to where are we? or hospital, and they didn't have the uh, thing for it. Yeah, well, I agree with you too there, Adrian. They don't want us to get out of our country. Like the Philippines ain't going to open up to India anytime soon. And there's not a lot of Indian people that go to the Philippines anyway, unless they're a tourist. So, they will be monitoring this pretty carefully too, as well. Yeah, well, see, to me, uh, when this all first started, um, New Zealand locked down first, then Australia, then the Philippines locked down after, and then straight after that, America locked down. I totally agree with you, Adrian. I want to get back home to my family. We haven't seen our family for what, 2018. It's now 2021. Probably 4 years since we were last there, and yeah, I want to get back to seeing all our family. I want to meet up with some people, and Chris Beecham would love to get back home. And the only way he's going to get back home is if his doctor gives him a all clear, a exclusion from the AstraZeneca and the Pfizer. Well, in having doing that, then he risks getting COVID over there if it's not all cleared up, um, which is a shame. But he can't have the AstraZeneca because it causes blood clots. But there is tablets you can take, but you shouldn't have to take tablets to curtail something else. And he has not good. He's not good, and if for some unknown reason he can get a exemption from all the needles, that's fine. That's all good and well, but it's not going to do his health any good if he goes over and they've still got it over there. We can all be cleared of having the jab and everything like that by taking the jab and covering ourselves. But they've proved that those that have had the COVID shots, the AstraZeneca and the Pfizer, have turned up that they've got COVID. So is that true? Or is that trying to put scare tactics in? I think people should turn around and now say to the government, we find you incapable of running this country because and that includes the medical um, people too as well. You know what I mean? They don't seem to know what's going on either. Um, they they say that we're doing all the good things. There's only one good one there. That's the I think Chris knows. He's got a sort of a beard, mustache and a beard. He seems to be the only one that knows what's going on and seems to be able to be in control of everything. But as far as our federal government and our state government, you know, and they really are finding it an uphill battle where Greg Sutton's another good you know, medical doctor on this, but it's the old case scenario shit. They sort of look like they're running around chasing their tails at the moment, and I wish they'd find a result quickly that it's going to fix things. Now the scientists are saying 2 jabs only gives you 75% protection. Also, the 2 jabs are supposed to give you full protection, and you don't have to have it. Also, Tony, when that first came out, the Pfizer and the AstraZeneca, if you had 2 jabs of that, last you for life. I don't know how they work that out. To me, it's similar to the flu shot. You have to take it once every year. Um, yeah, so if America gave that to Australia, had enough and gave that to Australia, maybe people would wake up and take that as well. But at the moment, we only got the Pfizer and the AstraZeneca here. And the Philippines have got the Chinese. And like to me, this is what shits me the most out of the whole lot of it. You know, America praises the Philippines and then likes going to the Philippines and loves being in the Philippines. Why don't they give the Philippines free vaccines, the AstraZeneca or the Pfizer? Why don't they help the Philippines out more than what they're doing now? Instead, Philippines are relying on the Chinese brand. That's not good. Is it working? Are they getting? Do they have to have 2 shots? Now, I find that a bit ridiculous when America is supposed to be on a pedestal helping the Chinese, helping the Philippines with this. They need to help them a lot more in my book. And I think it's high time Australia got their ass in the gear and started helping the Philippines more than what the Americans are doing at the moment. Now, I could be wrong in saying what I'm saying. Well, I'm not hearing anything of that. Um, sorry, Joe, I'm not hearing anything of that going to the Philippines from America. I'm only hearing China's supplying the Philippines with the Chinese version of the thing. Yeah, that was supposed to be the case, Scott, but it's changed. Sounds like we are getting treated like guinea pigs. Oh, look, Tony, I'll agree with you there on that one, mate. I really will. I think Chris Basin would agree with you there too. I just think that, look, YouTube can pull this down if they want to. But let me tell you something, if you cannot talk about something that is dear to your heart, that you wish everybody is going to get the right thing and get everything um, positive, if you can't, there's a lot about free speech within a certain reason, but if you should be able to talk about things that are day-to-day living, and if someone's trying to hush you up, well, I'm sorry, if it's the government that's trying to hush you up, that's what I reckon of the government, is you should be able to have your say. It's a free country, and that's what I was saying the other day in the shop at Coles. I was doing a video with CJ, and the lady came up and said, "Are you doing a video?" And I turned around and said, "No, I'm not." And she goes, "Oh." I said, "I'm not." I said, "Yeah, put on the front door. No YouTubers allowed. No videos allowed. Put it up on the door in front of the shopping centre. You got free manger entrances and exits. Put it up. No, you got no skateboarding, no dogs, no nothing other than that. people of the Philippines should get more help. Exactly, I agree. I think Australia should get off their ass and help them too. Philippines don't want relief from America. The Philippines is stopping the vaccines from going to the Philippines. America, what was that? The Philippines doesn't want to relief from America. The Philippines is stopping vaccines going to the Philippines. Well, so that shouldn't be right. They should be getting it regardless. And Australia should be helping, so should America. And the Philippines shouldn't be stopping the vaccines coming from both of those two countries. I wouldn't trust anything coming out of Russia. I wouldn't trust anything coming out of China. In my book, I just think it's a big joke. Um, Russia can't even look after their own people. They're too busy looking after making weapons of mass destruction. And same with Korea and China. They're more worried about their weapons technology, but who's going to fire them if no one's alive to work them with silly things? It's not going to help anybody. If if Russia or China start a war, it's going to be one end of the world, the way everything's moving and volcanoes erupting, this country will blow itself up without, you only have to look what happened when Iraq and Libya and Israel and, Hamas and that were firing off missiles. Look there, look what, it was happening to the earth. Things were moving, places were shifting, tides are rising, the heat and the thing, and it's all good and well to say, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that, good on you. But let me tell you something. When there's no polar ice cap, we're all underwater looking for a boat to get onto. It's not going to help. You're saying water world. If that's what the world's going to end up looking like with America underwater and everything else, you look at those movies, the end of the world movies, and you start to wonder, reality or fiction? You decide. But in my book, same with Mad Max, in the middle of nowhere of Australia's deserts. Are we going to end up like that? People killing people over fuel, people killing people over food because there's nothing left, innocent people dying for no reason. Bikies take over the world over fuel, trying to take fuel. Maybe if that happened, I'd say, yeah, here's my car, take it. Just let me live, I didn't see you. But I might be talking rubbish there, but I'm not far off the point that we could end up like Mad Max, could end up like the end of the world. But are we? Is it going to happen? How far away are we from blowing ourselves out, just to make a point? Just because it's over land control, just because it's trying to take back so much land and trying to build new lives. But you got to realise one thing. All said and done, the earth's not going to be worth nothing when people blow it up and they don't realise that. And quite frankly, it makes me sick just the thinking of it. But, the world as we know it today, I feel sorry for our young ones growing up. their grandpa, such or their dad and their mum have seen the best years of this earth before, just after the Second World War, that is. But when you look at it, it's one of those things. Governments want to take control of people's lives. Governments want to control where we go. Governments, you have a look at Scott Morrison. Shit, there's they all talk about dictatorships. Is Scott Morrison a dictator? He's telling us we can't go to New Zealand. Oh, the only place we can go to is New Zealand. The only other place that we can go to is within our own country. Nobody outside can come here. The only thing that can come here is ships bringing cargo, bringing freight, and else taking iron ore to China, taking stuff to Taiwan, getting stuff back from Taiwan because they've made baby koalas and they made wombats and they've made pencils and they've made books and they've made televisions and stuff like that. But you look at it realistically, guys, it's just plants. I just die for the chance to get back home to the Philippines and see my family again before all this happens. My mum's 82 and she's not well. And yeah, my brother comes around, and at the moment, the way things are, he can't come around because if he comes around, he has to get a COVID shot. I've got my COVID test on the phone here. Arlene's got her COVID test on her phone. But if he comes around here, he's got to go out. He's got to go and get a COVID test on Monday. And if he comes up negative, he's laughing. But if he comes up positive, he's got to stay home and isolate for 2 weeks. He loses 2 weeks' wages only because he's a butcher. I'm a carer. I only get paid what I get paid for, which my wage is half as his. But I only get paid for looking after my mum and looking after CJ and looking after Arlene at the moment. And it's not going very far, it's going downwards rather than up. And because I'm 55 and we're going to get another job, okay, I go look for another job. Where am I going to put CJ? He goes to kinder Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. So I've got to get a job Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. And Arlene will have to stay home and look home after him. But then we get another COVID vaccine, this shit come through. I'm out of a job again. Yeah? Unless I got vaccine, you're not going to get a job in Victoria. And that's the basic downright truth and reality of what's going to happen. If you haven't had a shot, whether it be England, Spain, America, you haven't had your vaccine shots, you won't get a job. If you have your vaccine, if you are blind or you have bad heart, and you want to work, they'll put you in a job that's going to be less strenuous on you. But then they turn around and say, oh, maybe they're a liability. Well, that's not fair either, is it, really, when you look at it? That you become a liability to your country. And you only want to do your country proud by working and helping out and stuff like that, I haven't worked since Mum took sick. And I decided that CJ was born. He was only not even one. He was only an infant. So I stayed home and looked after him while Arlene went to work. Okay, it's a sad sopping story, but it's reality, it's the truth. I'd give my arm and a leg if I could get back and send CJ back home to mum and dad in the Philippines and send Arlene back home. And I'll stay here until mum, you know, sell the house. Ken gets his half, I get my half, and I head back to the Philippines. We start building our own home. Those in the Philippines that, excuse me, those in the Philippines that are there now are lucky. They don't have to get back to America or get back to the UK or get back to Australia or get back to New Zealand on their visas because they can get their passport stamped that they can stay another year or so. But once all this shit's finished, it'll be you need to go now, you need to go home, you need to go back to England, you need to go back to America, you need to go back to Australia. And then they'll reopen people like me and my wife be able to go back. Basically, because we've done our time here, away from there, but realistically, those that are in America, those that are in the Philippines will get told to get out unless they've got their permanent residence and they're all good. You know, I can apply for my permanent residence, stay there for a year with Arlene on the public buying box. But when you look at it, it's one of those things. You just hope and pray that it's not going to happen. You hope and pray that people can go back and live in the Philippines. Would India be allowed into the Philippines? No. Philippines have probably got a no come here sort of thing, but nothing stops them to go to America and then go to the Philippines. But they will probably have their visas checked before they get there, and they'll be saying, "You can't go back here. You gotta go back home to India. Sorry, your country is in a problem state, and we don't need it here." And they'll check out everybody. You'll have a test. You'll probably have a COVID test before you go back to the Philippines. If you test negative, that's fine. You've got everything in your medical files, Medicare, stuff like that. It's all good, everything's going to be good. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wind this up. Thanks for coming, everyone. Much appreciate your support. Thanks for the likes, 5 likes, 3 in the house. Take care, enjoy. I have to go. I'll catch you later. I'll talk to you later, Joe. Enjoy, have fun. See you tomorrow night. Take care, guys. See you, Tony. See you, Chris Beecham. See you, everybody. See you, Adrian Gibson and Joe. Take care. Have a good night. Enjoy and remember life's good. Thanks for being here. Mahal kita. I'll talk to you after, Joe.